Hello all and welcome back to the Fernando Alonso career mode. Round number 9 for the Canadian Grand Prix as we've swam over a very large pond. Apologies if I sound subdued or perhaps not as high-pitched or enthusiastic. I've got a bit of a sore throat, some illness, tuberculosis possibly. I don't know what it is, but that's the way the cookie has crumbled and I'm very sorry. However, let's hope it crumbles in our favour in qualifying. Here we are for a super Saturday, and it is extremely super. Currently in provisional pole position. My word, we're absolutely flying here in Montreal, but look at that. The AI in a straight line. Sainz isn't letting this one go down without a fight. Verstappen's nowhere to be seen, unbelievably. Clattering over the final chicane's curbs. Sainz is nowhere to be seen. He's right underneath us, across the line. It is so unbelievably close, but it's pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. We get the job done. It's an all Spanish front row. Hardly anything in it. 23 thousandths of a second. Verstappen not far behind either. Then Leclerc and Perez. My teammate down in 11th. Not a good day for the Mercedes team behind both McLarens. Deary me, well in their constructors crusade that's taken a bit of a shipwreck. However, for us, our ship keeps on sailing, and after Spain where we were so close to winning, this is our best chance yet. It's race day.
Stroll, Latifi, both Gilles and Jacques, the 4 Canadian point scorers here. It is a favourite of the F1 calendar. Welcome to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix.
No more swaffling around. Let's get straight to business. 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go, and it's a decent start against Carlos Sainz. Not decent enough though. He has a run on us into turn 1, but we barge him out to the outside there. Get our elbows well and truly sticky and greasy, and Sainz wants nothing to do with that. And away we go, hopefully into the distance. At least that's the plan, as through this first sector, easily our strongest section of the track other than the hairpin. We absolutely fly through here, but Sainz keeping us extremely honest. And the cars behind us all on soft tyres. Norris in P5. Leclerc's had a shocker of a start. Has absolutely plummeted. Lando Norris then taking full advantage in his McLaren machine. So kudos to him. Credit where credit is due. Carlos Sainz is looking for extra credit though. And I can't possibly allow that. He's going for it. Round the outside of the hairpin. We forcefully send him out wide. Partially because of the understeer and partially so that we have a decent run down this straight. Because if qualifying's anything to go by, the straight is not going to be our friendo. Underneath the Rolex sponsorship, time is... Oh my god, that is horrible! Code Brown moment, we're not going to stay in that little squabble any longer than we need to. Getting past Sainz, but we've lost the lead. We've lost the lead to Max Verstappen. Sainz now fighting away with Sergio Perez for the final podium place. But my god, what on earth happened there? What's that on the horizon? It's Fernando Alonso being chased down by 2 very grizzly bears. And that moment right there can only be described as pure terror. Well, let the games begin. The chase for Max Verstappen. Alonso versus Verstappen. Run it back. It's happening again here in Montreal. This time, we're not the ones defending. We're trying to make the most and overtake and overthrow Max Verstappen, which is a task in and of itself, but we've both got a very healthy gap to those behind. So, let battle commence. Fastest lap is ours as we head on to lap number 3. DRS flap wide open, sucking up all that fresh oxygen and, well, drowning ourselves in Verstappen's slipstream, but we can't get anywhere near. Our straight line speed is nowhere near good enough. And so Verstappen is safe, or is he? Towards turn 1 we go. Try and fake to the inside. Verstappen, though, keeps us extremely honest. End of lap number 4 now, and as you can see, Verstappen's crusade is crumbling here in Canada. There's no way he keeps the lead from us, even on mediums compared to the softs, which should still have the advantage. We're finding every avenue possible to try and overtake him, attempting a switchback out of turn number 2, and it means Verstappen's been telegraphed. He goes to defend fresh air. We're going to hang back. get the run through the chicane, and now we're going to really send him a telegram of a move down the inside of Verstappen, past Max Verstappen. We lead the Canadian Grand Prix. A fantastic little move. And now with DRS at our disposal, we're already over a second ahead. And surely that could be it. Through the chicane, coming up to the detection. Oh, for fuck. Lap number 6 at the same point. Again, that first section, saving our bacon as we've roasted and toasted Verstappen in terms of a gap. But now he's the one with DRS and he's leeching onto our diffuser, or at least attempting to. Again, briefly out of the 1 second window, but he still remains in it, and that means he can use our slipstream, but not for much longer. Alas, on lap number 7, he cannot get anywhere close. He was not within 1 second at the detection point. And now our charge can really begin. Somehow already, our pace between us and Verstappen's softs has crossed over. We're 4.5 seconds ahead of Perez at this point. Now almost 5.5 seconds. We are absolutely flying here in the Montreal streets. Alonso is, well, imperious for lack of a better term. Under Mick Schumacher's cruise as we go. It's always nice to see he has employment. I mean, what would he do without it? Through this first sector, though, and you can see, if you've been paying attention to the gap, it's exasperating the issues Verstappen's facing. What started out as just under 2 seconds, now 2.5 seconds worth of gap. Wow. Lap number 11 now, and as you can see, I mean, it's curtains. It is curtains for Max Verstappen. Yes, we are on the contra strategy, but with a gap of 4 seconds already here, not even halfway into this race. Surely the battle is done before it can even begin again. As through the hairpin, there's a yellow flag. Who's that going slowly? Oh my god, it's Verstappen! Verstappen's out! I don't believe it! The motorsport gods have bestowed a gift from the heavens to us here on lap 11. Verstappen out of this race. The man chasing us down, or trying to chase us down in the championship, has fallen by the wayside. And that means this race could get rather boring. And so you know what that means? Into the pits we come. E-I-E-I-O. I got that completely... I don't actually care, but into the pits we go. I'm actually rather upset because Verstappen was our closest challenger and would have been our closest challenger for the rest of this race. However, we'll never know how that plays out as purple turn in into the pits. Slick work from the Aston Martin boys and girls. We don't discriminate. And out into the race we go once again. What was a 23-second gap will be eroded to something like 5 seconds, but... I mean, it's already done and dusted, like I said. Perez can do whatever he wants to, but with our soft tyres now on our wagon, fastest lap is inevitably in our grasp. The win is surely in our grasp. Pending we don't balls it up, but... Nah, I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's have a look at what everyone else is up to then, as we watch Norris and Hamilton. Hamilton's been slowly but surely catching up to the McLaren of Norris. He's really found some pace in the Silver Arrows car, the Black Shadow. Well, I mean, there was a famous one back in the 30s, I think it was, with the Vincent Black Shadow. But Hamilton, in his Black Shadow, has completely usurped Norris. What on earth happened there in the pit lane? McLaren, who are normally so astute with their pit schedule, have completely ballsed it up. And Lewis Hamilton finds himself ahead of his British counterpart, and possibly ahead of Leclerc as well, who's been cooped up behind Kevin Magnussen, side by side between the two of them, into this chicane. But it looks like, yes, Leclerc does fend off the 7-time champion for the time being. Meanwhile, down into the chicane, it's 3 wide again. We saw how that ended last time, and Piastri's completely cocked the crumble. Dearie me, going extremely wide. Norris now has an opportunity. Piastri, of course, thanks to the double detection, has DRS of his own. It means Russell's now putting the two of them under threat, as they're still side by side through that second corner. But Piastri, with momentum in his favour, keeps the position for now. Not a moment later, and here's Charles Leclerc going for a move on Bottas, who has yet to pit. Lap number 14 this is. Seems like he's got the move done. Pinch to the inside. Hamilton's gone round him. Incredible move. Lewis Hamilton, opportunism at its finest. And courtesy of his former teammate Valtteri Bottas, Sir Lewis finds himself in the dizzying heights, considering Mercedes' weekend so far, of P4. Well then, the Black Shadow casting a furious cloud of doubt over the Ferraris' heads, splitting the two of them apart, and what seemed like a weekend to forget for Mercedes has suddenly turned into a little bit of optimism. Unbelievable that. Meanwhile, you've seen us going through the hairpin. There's not much to talk about with my race. Lap number 17, our first proper lap out of the pits after coming out on soft tyres, and apart from ballsing up the chicane across the line, it is easily fastest lap, a 1:11.4. If you were awaiting news of, oh, he spun, I hate to disappoint you, almost nothing happened. I think the only thing that actually happened was this. Through the chicane, and suddenly, I get it all wrong, and I can tell you why. It's because my fucking wheel decided to be like this. But even our own mechanical troubles couldn't stop us this weekend. Nothing could stop us this weekend. Final lap of the Grand Prix, 18 seconds the gap to Perez. Stop it. If you needed any more confirmation or any other way to ascertain that we have been dominant this weekend, that is all you need. And who knows what it could have been if Verstappen had stayed in this race and not had mechanical troubles. In a way, I wish he hadn't, so we could have had more of a spicy battle. But underneath the Rolex, my God, time was on our side. We're going to extend our lead in the championship. Alonso wins the Canadian Grand Prix. What an unbelievable weekend. It's our 5th win of the season, I believe. Unbelievable. Honestly, absolutely unprecedented. No driver of the day, but all the plaudits go to us.
So that's it then for another magnificent Canadian Grand Prix, and they have hung on to take a sublime victory here today. So, Natalie, what made the difference out there today?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
You can see them on their way out to the podium now. Aston Martin really are making waves in this sport. And what a special race this was to see them earn the top spot.
Pinch me. Honestly, pinch me, because surely I'm dreaming. Surely it can't get better than this. Fernando Alonso, 5 wins in 2023, lifts the trophy as he reigns supreme in the streets of Montreal. I don't even think it's a street circuit, but I refuse to care anymore. Alonso's been the king of the street so far this season. Did it in Baku, did it in Monaco in some style, and again now in Montreal. And what can the rest of the grid do? What can they do? 18 seconds on the dot was our advantage in the end. Sainz gaining the final podium position. Hamilton did finish 4th ahead of Leclerc, and Russell managed to get past Piastri on the final lap. So kudos to him. But let's laugh at Verstappen. Okay, now that we've laughed, like I said, I'm actually quite frustrated about that. Really, I would have loved a close race with him because it's what it was shaping up to be, but alas, that is not what materialised. McLaren kind of drawing a blank, and my teammate with 1 solitary point again. And Gasly just in 9th or 8th again, just because he can, really. So let's have a look at the drivers' standings and see how that's affected things. And, well, there's a profound effect at the top. We are absolutely gargantuan. I'm not even kidding you. Perez moves up to 2nd in the championship as a result of Verstappen's car committing die. But after a semi-bad weekend at Monaco, Mercedes pull their socks up, and as a result, it means Hamilton gets away from the McLaren boys and his own teammate in that little squabble down there. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going as the next few races roll in. In the Constructors then, we do gain on Ferrari marginally. It's Red Bull once again, though, that find themselves in a little bit of a spot of bother, really. Yes, they're in the lead, but if both cars aren't finishing consistently, and especially Max Verstappen's, well, it could be bad omens for the team. Otherwise, once again, nobody moves. Just the gaps extending between Mercedes and McLaren. Well, there you are. Canadian Grand Prix is done. Another absolutely invincible weekend. Apart from lap 1, which we won't talk about. But my goodness me, what a way to do it. And we did it in some style too. If you did enjoy this round of the Fernando Alonso career mode, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty more of this and plenty of other shenanigans coming to your screens very soon indeed. Until that next video, or perhaps it will be the next round of the Alonso career mode, where we head to Austria. Until then, once again, I thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.